Hey guys, I do have an editorial for you here on this Friday. And I went through, there's so many to do. I chose this one. You'll find out why when I go through it. But there's so many different stories. Camden, New Jersey, police chief marched alongside Miss Deaver, a black woman who was protesting. They marched together holding her sign. That's what it's about, trying to build that bridge. Now, they completely shut down Camden Police Department. I read about that, and they rebuilt it from the ground up. They said crime is down. So, I don't know. They may be doing a great job within their community. They may be a success story there in Camden, New Jersey. I wonder, and I doubt, though, if New York and Chicago and Detroit and Los Angeles and San Diego can all follow suit. I don't know. But apparently Camden, New Jersey has a good community relations. They go to block parties with their communities, and they, just are out there interacting. And of course, again, the police chief was marching with one of the protesters. The guy who ambushed the cops in Paso Robles, California, he was in a shootout with police yesterday. He was shot and killed. So they have the suspect that shot the police in Paso Robles. He is now been fatally wounded in a police shootout. There's just so much going on right now. And over the last 2 weeks, I don't know what happened within this last 2 weeks or this last 11 days, but I got some type of epiphany, and I just feel kind of weird. I know you guys are going to be like, what? I do. I feel a little weird. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I feel I had an epiphany. I don't know. I feel like I'm not doing enough to document and show police brutality, to show racism, to show all that's going on in the communities. And, but I'm trying to stay focused. I know there are some people who are trying to kind of, direct me over into doing complete activism for all racism in the communities. People want me to talk about Captain David Dorn, who I will say was a tragedy. He didn't deserve to die over a television set. He did not. He was an off-duty, or he was a retired, police officer, David Dorn. He didn't deserve to die. But the reason I really didn't talk about him was I'm trying to stay focused on law enforcement officers that are bullies, intimidators, civil rights violators, policy breakers, and law breakers. I'm really trying to stay directed. That's my format. I'm Community Leo Watch, Law Enforcement Officer Watch. And so I'm trying not to get my plate too full of, I got to cover this story and I got to cover that story. And pretty soon, I need a whole staff, and then I'm off track. I'm not talking about Leos no more. So I'm trying to get away from that and just stay focused on Leos that are bad. Yes, I will praise the good ones when I come across good ones. I will praise them. I will lift them up. I will say good job as well. But that's just kind of my format, is bad cops need to be exposed so that people in their neighborhood, when they see them, go, you were in one of Jimmy's videos. You're that cop that punched that handcuffed guy, huh? You punk ass cop. They'll know because they'll have seen my video. Versus seeing this cop and not really knowing who this cop is, they can go, you're that cop. I saw you in a video, punk, Or if it's a good cop, they can go, I saw you in a video. You're a good cop. You're professional. We appreciate you. That it can go that way as well. So Community Leo Watch just doesn't mean I watch bad cops. I watch law enforcement officers, good and bad. That said, let's get to our editorial so I can get out of here and get new tires on my truck. That's right. So I can do some videos for you guys. Tonight's Friday. Thank you, NBC News, for this story. We're going to Tulsa. Living on Tulsa time. Living on Tulsa time. Well, there's a cop out there who blew it. That's because he's too true. I don't know. I screwed up the song. Some people are like, please don't sing again. We'll pay you if you don't sing again. Thank you, NBC News, for this story. Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum on Wednesday blasted one of his Police Department's top commanders after the officer denied there's systemic racism in law enforcement, then said African Americans probably ought to be shot more. Tulsa Chief of Police Wendell Franklin, the first African American to hold the police chief position in Tulsa, on Thursday also denounced the incendiary comments made by Major Travis Yates. A statement from the Tulsa Police Department said, Chief Wendell Franklin and the Tulsa Police Department want to make it very clear we do not endorse, condone, or support Yates' comments made on the show. This matter has been referred to our Internal Affairs Unit. Major Yates was on KFAQ on Monday in a weekly segment called Behind the Blue Line when he said there's no institutional racism in policing. He said, quote, or he's quoted as saying, all the research said, including Roland Fryer, an African-American Harvard professor, Heather McDonald, and the National Academy of Sciences, all of their research says we're shooting African-Americans about 24% less than we probably ought to be based on the crimes being committed. Yates did not specifically cite which studies led him to this conclusion. A representative of the National Academy of Sciences declined comment on Thursday. Now it goes down and down and down and down. I'm scrolling here and there's just a lot more here. Not too much, but it's not really too much. But for an editorial, you guys don't want to hear me ramble for that long. But there is a lot more. I will put a link to this story. You can go finish reading it or read the whole thing. Click the link in the description box below. You can read this whole story. It's actually a good read. I read it from start to finish. It's an interesting read. I'm also going to put in the description box below a musical montage video that I made. It's referenced the protests that happened in the last 2 weeks, well, since May 26th. You can go and watch that and see some of the pictures from the protests and what these fed up protests were about this year. So if you really want to watch a really good video on the protests, click that link as well in the description box below and watch that music video. It's only 3 minutes. But this Major Yates guy, he says, the studies show we're shooting African Americans about 24% less than we ought to be. No, okay, but I'm going to get to something here. First of all, that's bullshit, because you shouldn't be shooting any African Americans unless one thing happens. They point a firearm at you and pull the trigger or pull the hammer back or what have you. They're aiming a gun at you. Now, I'm not really wanting anybody to die. I'm not condoning or advocating anybody be shot or killed, but not just a police officer. You point a gun at somebody and that person has a gun, you're going to get shot. Because I'm sure they want to go home and see their families just as much as you do. So that's the one instance where, anybody, not just African Americans, but anybody, you point a gun at somebody and they have a gun, use it. Or if they're on you and they got a knife and they're about to stick it into you and you got to do something to save your own life. But this thing about shooting them because they're running away, and people have said, well, they could go and hurt other people in the community. Well, an airplane could fall from the sky and crash and blow up. Are we going to stop flying airplanes across neighborhoods? Shooting these people running away, shooting people and then saying, oh, he's not armed. Oops. So, no, this is a crap statement by Major Yates. Major Yates, not just, trooper so-and-so or officer so-and-so who's been on the job for a year. This is Major Yates, who's a major asshole. Making these statements. The research says we're shooting African Americans about 24% less than we probably ought to be. But then he tries to add, based on the crimes being committed. What crimes are they committing that you think we ought to just shoot them? But the other thing I was going to say too is not just shooting, choke holding, putting knees on their neck, hitting them with batons, hitting them with your car. Things of that nature. So there's a whole lot more going on than just shooting them. And this Major Yates, apparently he approves of it. What he should have said was, we need to cut down on use of deadly force or something to that along those lines. That's what he should have said. I'm not going to keep hammering on this. But I don't know. I got an epiphany in the last 2 weeks. Just something happened where I feel like cops are out there killing people. I understand that people are killing each other. I understand that criminals are killing each other. I understand that, but they're lawless. Those people. We're talking about people that have taken an oath. I will defend, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California or whatever state you're in. I will protect and serve the people of this, and they're out there killing them and brutalizing them and intimidating them and bullying them and assaulting them and battering them. And they're people with a badge that took an oath to protect and serve and defend. And they're killing and brutalizing people. I could start naming people. But then somebody will get upset and go, well, you didn't mention this one. There's so many to mention. There's so many people. We're tired of it. We're fed up. So all you law enforcement officers out there, we're not saying you have to be perfect. I've been a hard critic in the past, and I've said you had to be perfect. But I'm growing in this thing as well. But I got an epiphany that we need to do more to catch these bad cops. If somebody in this area gets killed by a police officer senselessly, I want to be the one there to record that, to say, I got you. And if they lie about it, like that guy in DeKalb County, Georgia lied, it's my video that will do what happened to him. He got put away 12 years for manslaughter because someone's video was over there recording. He didn't know that. Oopsie. Oh, there was a video? I didn't know there was a video. That's why you lied. Thank you guys for watching. Comment section below. 2 links in the description box to click on. Thank you, Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers from coast to coast on this Friday. And look for more videos this weekend.